Students, coming back to the next session of module 4, which is meant for serial communication. Under this we are going to see RS-232, that is communication protocol, its pin description, introduction, and how we are going to interface RS-232 with 8051. So all these topics we are going to cover in this session. First one, we will see the general structure of RS-232. So the pin configuration of RS-232 is shown over here. When you look at this pin configuration, it is having 9 pins. So here when you look at this RS-232 cable, it is having 9 pins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this cable is meant as an interfacing cable when you wanted to interface your computer with any of your hardware device. Basically this pin we will be connecting it from CPU. So it is the pin that we will be connecting it from CPU to your hardware device. So each pin in this RS-232 serves an individual purpose, which will be discussed in the further session. So this RS-232 comes under your communication protocol. Before getting into the RS-232 in depth, first we will see what is meant by a protocol. So the definition for the protocol means it stands for like when a set of rules and regulations has been framed to communicate between a computer and your peripheral device. So under communication protocol, we have different types of protocol, that is interconnected protocol, intra protocol, RS-232, and I2C protocol, that is intra protocols. So which is mainly meant for communicating your computer device with the hardware system. So this RS-232 cable, whatever we have shown here, it is the first protocol used for connecting the modems for telephony. That is, this is the first protocol which connects your computer to your hardware device. And also RS-232. RS means it stands for recommended standard, and now it has been changed to EIA, that is Electronic Industries Alliance, or TIA, that is Telecommunication Industry Association. Now we are not going to call it as a RS-232. Now the name has been changed as EIA and TIA, where EIA stands for Electronic Industries Alliance and TIA stands for Telecommunication Industry Association. Now it is used in modem, mouse and CNC. CNC is nothing but computer numeric control machines. Where computer numeric control machine is nothing but it is a machine that is controlled by a computer. So we need to interface that computer with the mechanical device. So for that RS-232 is used. Suppose if you wanted to interface a DC motor or stepper motor, or if you wanted to interface an LCD or 7-segment display with the computer programming, there also we will be using this RS-232 cable, where it acts like a interfacing cable between your computer and the peripheral device. But you can connect one RS-232 from a computer to one peripheral device. You cannot connect it to multiple peripheral device. So this RS-232 is connect only a single transmitter to a single receiver, and it supports full duplex communication. Also we know that the duplex communication is nothing but it is possible for us to send or receive the data at a time. That is, it means that a computer can give a command to the hardware kit, and also for that the hardware kit can respond for the same command, and if any feedback is required, it is again reverted back to your computer device. So all these things can be done with the help of your RS-232, and moreover this RS-232 transmission rate, that is nothing but the baud rate, is 1 megabits per second. The baud rate, the amount of data transferred, bits of data transferred per second, is going to be 1 megabits per second, and this will be the transmission rate of your RS-232. And also the transmission length is limited to 50 feet. You cannot use this RS-232 above 50 feet because the range of frequency is going to get differ, where it is not possible for us to have the exact output when you are interfacing your computer with the peripheral device. So next, this is the pin configuration of RS-232. So in this pin configuration, as we discussed, it is having 9 pin. And this, the first pin is representing the data carrier detect. Data carrier detect in the sense, it will check for the valid data. Suppose if a valid data is available onto the transmitting channel, if a valid data is available on the transmission channel, then the data carrier signal will be high. So if a valid data carrier is available, it will give a signal to your data transmit ready. So first I'll show what are all the pin it may each pin meant for, and then we will see the functions. Pin number 3 is meant for transmitting your data, and pin number 4 it is data terminal ready. Pin number 5 it is ground. Pin number 6 is data set ready. Next, request to send is pin number 7, clear to send, and the last one is going to be your ring indicator. So these 9 pins are going to serve different purpose in case of transmitting the information from your computer to your peripheral device. The first pin is going to be your data carrier detect. As the name indicates, it will detect the data that is available on the transmission channel. So if a valid data is detected, then the logic symbol, then the output logic of this data carrier detect is going to be high. So once a valid data has been detected by this data carrier detect, then it gives one signal. And moreover, you have two types of equipment. One is your data terminal equipment, another one is your data communication equipment. These two equipments are going to be the most important one in case of RS-232 for transmitting the data from your computer to your peripheral device. This data terminal equipment will define whether a valid data signal is given by the data carrier detect. Once the data carrier detect gives a valid signal, then this data terminal equipment will be activated, and it sends a signal to data terminal ready. So, and it sends a signal to your data terminal ready, which means a valid data is available for transmission. Next one is your transmit data and receive data. These two pin, transmit data and receive data, it is mainly meant for transmitting and receiving the data. Since we know this RS-232 is capable of communicating in a full duplex mode, that is parallelly both the client and server can be active. So if your server is going to send an information to the client, even the client can also respond for the same. Like if you are interfacing any hardware device, a valid command is given from the computer to the hardware device like motor, LCD, lift operation, temperature sensor. So for all these things it can give an input. Once it is deducted, then whatever operation it is assigned to perform by the respective hardware device, it will be done, and same the signal will be transmitted. So TXT and RXT are mainly meant for transmitting and receiving the data, valid data that is placed on the communication channel. And the fifth pin is your ground. So the fifth pin ground represent, it has to be grounded because in order to reduce the noise that is happening from your computer to a peripheral while transmitting the data. The sixth pin is your data set ready. So the data set ready represents a valid signal has already been given by the data carrier detect. Then data set ready in the sense it is ready for transmitting your data from your source end to your destination end. Once the data is ready, the transmitter will send a request to send, that is, please send your data from the transmitter to the receiver. Once the data is received in the receiver, then a CTS signal will be issued by the RS-232 pin connector, which says that the data has already been deducted and it has been received. Please clear to send. Then the ring indicator. So once it is received, it will give a signal with signaling alarm. That is 9th pin. It is your ring indicator. Next is your RS-232 protocol wiring connection. So you cannot directly connect your RS-232 protocol directly to your 8051 microcontroller. Why? Because RS-232 protocol is not compatible with TTL logic. TTL in the sense transistor logic. You can see here it consists of two blocks. First one is going to be your DTE, that is data transmitter, data terminal ready, and the next one is data transmission. So in this data terminal equipment, so whatever we have shown here, DTE stands for data terminal equipment, TX is your transmitter, and RxD is your receiver. And same way in this block also you are having a transmitter, next one is your receiver, and there is a DCE, that is data communication equipment. The data terminal equipment is going to act as a transmitter, whereas the data communication equipment is going to act as a receiver. So here the data transmitting equipment, DTE, data terminal equipment, DTE represents data terminal equipment, DCE represents it is the data communication equipment, and it forms a full duplex mode of operation. So it can transmit the data. So in this way it can transmit your data, and also this DCE can also act as a transmitter when it is operating in full duplex mode. And this is the wiring connection of RS-232. Now in the next part we'll see how exactly we need to connect your data communication equipment with the data terminal equipment. The current terminology of classification of your data communication equipment are data terminal ready, which is meant to refer to a terminal and the computers that can send or receive the data. Data communication equipment means it, for example, it is a modem. It is a valid example that is used for transmitting or receiving the data, such as modems. Next is your data terminal ready. Data terminal ready will specify it sends out a signal when the data is ready for communicating with the external device. Next is your data set ready. Data set ready means it will be turned on, that is DSR. It will be enabled when your DCE, that is your data communication equipment, is turned on, and it will insert this DSR signal to indicate that it is ready to communicate. So the current terminology that classifies the data communication equipments are DTE and DCE. DTE is your data terminal equipment, that is meant for saying that the data is ready for sending. You can send or receive the data by using this particular signal. DCE, it is a data communication equipment. It is exactly like as your modem. Data terminal ready. Data terminal ready means it is ready to send the data for communication, that is data terminal ready. Data set ready in the sense it will receive a signal from data communication equipment. So a valid signal will be received from the data communication equipment. Once it is received, then the data set ready, that is the DSR, will be set to 1, and it states that it is ready for communicating with the external hardware device. So next is request to send. Request to send in the sense if you wanted to transmit a byte of data, then this request to send signal has to be enabled of DTE so that it can transmit the data from your transmitter, that is DTE, to your DCE, that is DTE means data terminal equipment to data communication equipment. CTS means once the data has been received, this signal, CTS signal, will be received to DTE to indicate that it can receive the data now. So all these explanations has been given when we are handling the block diagram only. Next is your 8051 connection to RS-232. Here you are going to see how we are going to connect 8051 to RS-232. Directly you cannot connect 8051 to RS-232 because RS-232 is not compatible with TTL logic. So here you could see a connector, that is DB9. This DB9 is your RS-232. It is your RS-232. So directly when you look at this diagram, directly you are not connecting the RS-232 with 8051. Direct connection is not given between RS-232 and 8051. Instead of that, you are going to use this MAX 232 block. In this, you are going to use MAX 232 block as a interfacing part, which makes your RS-232 output to be compatible with your 8051 IC. So TTL is nothing but transistor logic. Here you are going to give a supply to 8051 separately and RS-232 separately and MAX 232 separately, so that the logic level of your RS-232 is made compatible to that of your 8051 TTL logic. So this is the connection shown for 8051 to RS-232. In this, when you look at this, here you are having two transmitting ends. So here you have 4 line drivers, where the first 2 line drivers, 4 line driver in the sense this is first line driver, second, third, fourth. So among these 4 line drivers, 2 are meant for transmitting your data and 2 are meant for receiving your data. So the 14th pin and 15th pin place 14th pin and 15th pin is one pair, and 7th pin and 8th pin is going to be another pair for transmitting or receiving the data from your DB9 connected to your 8051. So looking at here, your DB9, that is RS-232, is connected to MAX 232 chip. So MAX 232 chip is a IC chip which makes your DB9 connected to be more compatible with the 8051 input. So when you look at this here, you will be connecting this 11th pin and 12th pin. 11th pin is nothing but T in 1, that is transmitting. Here we are going to consider one pair of transmitter and receiver. So 11th and 12th pin we are going to consider to connect your MAX 232 to the transmitting and receiving end of your 8051. This is the hardware connection representing the connection between your RS-232 to 8051 through MAX 232 chip. So the explanation for the same has been given over here. So 8051, it is the connection diagram that we have taken it from the Google. So here we have the pin configuration of 89C51. It is the pin configuration of 89C51. In this pin configuration, you could notice that the port 3 of 8051 is going to serve dual purpose, that is it can act as IO port, and the pins of port 3 is mainly used for transmitting or receiving the data, serving the interrupts, and read and write signal. So mainly when you are interfacing your RS-232 with 8051, you are going to utilize the pin receive data, transmit data, that is RXD and TXD. So this will be connected to the 8051 chip, and from RS-232 the second pin and third pin is going to be your RXD and TXD, that is connected to the one pair of your transmitting and receiving of your MAX 232 chip. This MAX, the purpose of connecting the MAX 232 chip with RS-232 is it will make the voltage level of RS-232 to be more compatible with the voltage level of your 89C51 microcontroller. So when this is the hardware connection that is shown over here, and you people can use this diagram, and this is the diagram that is given in Mazdi book also. So the physical connection of 8051 to RS-232 connectors are shown, and moreover, since RS-232 is not compatible with TTL logic, it requires a separate line drivers as shown with the MAX 232 chip. So this MAX 232 chip will make the voltage level of RS-232 to be more compatible with 8051, and that explanation is given in this particular slides. Thank you students. So in the next class, this is a diagram that we have taken from the book Mazdi, and this diagram is same as that of the diagram shown in the previous slides. So when they ask for the 8051 connection diagram to RS-232, you have to draw this particular diagram and you have to explain all about the pins that is available in RS-232 and why we are going to connect MAX 232 as a interfacing card between RS-232 and 8051. Okay, thank you students.